What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Overdose. I'm your host, Don Jaye. Today, I'm joined with a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lyric.
Lyric. All right, so we about to do a reaction video to Fresh and Fit. Let's jump right into it.
Ladies, you're missing the logic here. The logic is that women arbitrarily give themselves a rating that isn't necessarily true. And the reality is, like, you can't rate yourself. Like, the market dictates your value. You can't just sit there and like, oh, I'm this and this, and it's like, no, well, you can't dictate that. Like,
other people's opinions shouldn't really matter to you any motherfucking way. No one can really give you rate nobody.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this from this standpoint. Everyone is a 10 or whatever it is you want to be in your own right. What you say about me doesn't make me shit, sleep, eat, piss, or anything. So
okay. Before he goes in, because I know for a fact he's about to go in. What are your thoughts before I go into? What would you rate yourself from 1 to 10? You can't use 7.
I'd say I'm a solid 8, honestly.
Okay.
Just because of height, and I think I offer a lot. Okay, I think that, whilst other people's opinions don't matter per se, I think that it is still important because that's still how you're perceived. So, like, at the end of the day, like, it does matter because that's, in turn, how you're going to feel about yourself. If somebody calls you beautiful all the time, you're going to think that you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Somebody's always calling you ugly, you're going to think you're ugly.
Yeah.
So, whilst you could think that you're the most beautiful woman in the world, people calling you ugly all day, you're not going to still think you're the most beautiful person in the world.
Okay. Let's continue on. Shit.
Okay, but
it's all about someone's perspective, and I don't even really believe in ratings.
you can say opinion, but there's still facts here. So, like, if
so
you
what
were,
is the fact?
The fact
is someone can give
let me
you a
finish
number.
my point.
Wait,
let me
I'm
finish
talking.
my
You
point.
asked me to talk, right?
Whose podcast are you on?
Yours.
Okay,
But
don't
you
forget
asked
it.
me to talk,
Don't
right?
forget it. So remember, what I was saying was, if you're a 10,
Why you look like that? You got anything to say? No.
This nigga's just arrogant.
No.
you would be like on the cover of a magazine. You'd be a model. You'd be getting paid.
That's only if somebody wants to do that with the publicist and the right productions over it. People say, "Oh, I want to do this," and they don't.
I got a question for you. For you and your girlfriends, do you feel that they have a higher sense of self-worth, realistic sense of self-worth, or lower sense of self-worth?
Like, how do they perceive themselves?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of my friends, they're still very young, so they don't really, a lot of women in my age haven't really gained that confidence that they need, that I feel like a lot of older women have. So I would say that they probably see themselves as lower, and the men that they choose shows that as well.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
They choose men that constantly disrespect them and do not have any kind of morals or anything or any kind of future going for them, and they constantly go back to them for whatever fucking reason they do. Okay, even though these women have attributes that literally could gain amazing men.
Okay, so basically they selling them short by choosing these dudes that when they can be choosing better dudes, etc.
That's what their level is. But they are so much higher than them.
Okay, all right, speak your shit.
Don't have the means or the connections to get there. There's a lot of 10s that are not on Vogue or shouldn't have even been on Vogue. It's all about opinions and also the titles.
Here's the thing. I just find it funny how if I was to just call myself a...
You said, you got anything?
Okay, yes, not every 10 is on Vogue, but also beauty is always in the eye of the beholder.
You believe that?
Yes, because Vogue puts... Okay, this is so true.
Go ahead.
Vogue doesn't always... Everybody has their own quote-unquote type. So your type may be different from the next man's type.
Gotcha.
In a way.
All right, here's the honest truth. There is no such thing as... Well, okay, let me take it back. There is kind of a such thing. It is a little bit subjective, but most dudes understand, if I saw a girl and I was like, damn, she's literally a 10, there is no other dude that's going to be like, oh, she's a 5, or oh, she's a 4, or oh, she's a 3. With women, that typically happens, but not with men.
People are racist.
Huh?
People are racist.
Good rebuttal, but still true. If they wasn't racist, they still can objectively understand that female is attractive, or at least close to it. Typically with guys, if we rate a girl at 8, other guys will rate her 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. It's very close. But with girls, they could just not like him because his nails are just too long and he's a 0, or he's too short and he's a 0.
He's too this, he's too that. He doesn't bring this, he isn't that. Yeah. But at the same time, I think her bringing up the fact of Vogue, Vogue is something where it's more of... Vogue also goes by self-status.
Yeah. Okay.
If Zendaya wasn't who she was, 9 times out of 10, she wouldn't be on Vogue multiple times. She's
overrated,
gorgeous. Do not get me wrong. She's a gorgeous woman. But like Rihanna as well. I think that Rihanna is honestly overrated, in my opinion. I think that she's gotten the hype that she deserved. I think as a businesswoman, she did that shit. But everything else, y'all hyping her the fuck up. Leave her and her baby alone.
I'm clipping that. All right, let's go.
Billionaire or trillionaire, you guys would be like, what the fuck? That's kind of funny.
We wouldn't know that.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be factually true. And to be honest, you'd probably say, oh, yeah, manifested. Then you'd go back home and laugh at me. This nigga's delusional. My thing is that we let girls do this all the time, though. And we never like kind of check them like, bro, you're not a 10. You're not.
Who even started the whole rating thing? Do us as women say this guy is a 10 or that guy is a 20?
No,
or
girls don't do that.
What I've realized is from interviewing almost well over 1,500 girls at this point, it's amazing to me how many 11s and 20s and 21s or I don't meet on the scale or I'm perfect. We let women kind of lie to themselves and tell them that they're perfect and they don't need any self-improvement.
And we let men lie to themselves too. They be like, oh, I got a big ass dick. You pull it down, you be like, all right, shrimp, what happens to the test?
Okay.
I think at the
What are your thoughts?
Not beauty.
Huh?
That's not beauty.
True. As well as men actually don't lie themselves. We have to be extremely honest with other men because we live in reality. We have to perform. We have to get the money, get the status, get the whatever, blah blah blah. Do you have anything? Because I'm about to continue.
Not really.
At the end of the day, you are in one body for your whole life, and you should just love yourself and who you are in that body, and no one else's opinion should matter at all. It's confidence. It's not conceited. I could go home, look at myself in the mirror, and pick apart every single flaw I have on my face, every single flaw on my body.
Which would mean, by definition, you're not a 10.
But if I think myself like, why would I want to downplay myself? We all have flaws.
It's called delusion.
But do you not see how you're contradicting yourself right now? Like a 10 assumes you're perfect, and then you're saying here I have flaws. So by definition, you are not perfect.
But flaws can be perfect.
Hello.
Yeah. That was like cute. I like that.
Flaws and all. Hello.
Yes, because your flaws to someone else may be their best thing about you.
The perception of beauty is also different by every culture, every country,
Slightly.
I mean, the perception of beauty doesn't have to be what we're referring to as rating right now. Like
I just got a question. It's kind of on topic, but kind of off as well. As a woman, do you feel that you are pressured to always look good, always be at a good looking standpoint, etc. in your life?
Yeah, but I think that should just be a natural human thing. I think that everybody should want to look good. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be for anybody else. You should just want to look good for yourself. Your confidence. You shouldn't be trying hard for put on makeup to be like, oh, I'm gonna wear blue eyeshadow because Jeremy likes blue. Yeah. Nah, bitch, put on what you want.
Okay. So you don't. Okay, hold on. Now let's get into a real conversation. So to some extent, do you actually think that you should care what people think about how you look?
Yes, it matters. What people think about you matters. You're not going to go into an interview in sweatpants and slides and expect to go and be the freaking director of that company. You're just not going to get that. Okay. There's certain things and a time and place for everything, and you have to understand where you're about to be, who you're about to see. If I go to the grocery store, I'm not going to be out here looking crazy. If I'm going to the gas station, I may not care as much. Yeah, so, I got you, if I'm going on a little run and I know that nobody's really going to see me, I don't really care as much. But if I know I'm going out for the day, it just makes you feel better too. Because as a woman, we like attention. Yeah. And if I know I look good and I know that I feel like I'm getting stares, I'm getting all this other stuff, boost your head. It makes you feel good. At the end of the day, we all have to admit that we like attention. Hey, especially women. We like attention. Validation. Facts. We do.
Facts.
That's a lie. I mean, beauty is fairly general. What men find attractive. What is attractive? You know, it's fairly universal, right? Yeah. If you take someone that's attractive in Spain versus someone that's attractive in the United States or someone that's attractive in Canada, they're gonna be quite a bit of overlap.
There's a lot of agreement when it comes to the perception of beauty, but when you ask a girl, okay, rate yourself from 0 to 10. I hope that every goddamn female that I come across rates herself at least a goddamn 10.
But the argument is that if you were really a 10,
bro, and then this is something that they don't bring up a lot, and I don't think I've even heard this from other podcasts. If all women rate yourself as a 10, by definition, y'all all 5s. Yeah. The logic just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me.
You have to be realistic. Yes, confidence is great, but that's when you go from being confident to cocky. And it's a very subtle cocky, but saying you're a 10 and saying you're this, that, and the other, you're going to weigh saying, oh, I'm always going to be better.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be top-notch bitch. It's like, I'm glad that you feel that way, honey, but you're not.
Just be realistic.
And you also saying that you're a 10 all the fucking time, low-key just drives you down a little bit more.
Okay.
In my opinion.
You would be a model.
What? Sorry. What? Also, the thing that she said about, like, excuse me, about, like, different cultures and everything like that, I think that is actually very true. Because...
go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Because if you take the ideal woman in Asia, and let's just say, like, Korea, and you take that ideal woman and you go from that to the ideal woman in Nigeria, they're going to look completely different, and not just because of their skin tone. Usually Asian women, they're usually looked at as petite. They want to be very small, usually bigger breasts and everything, smaller bums, smaller everything, smaller thighs. Yes. A Nigerian woman, they, like the men there, they usually want a woman with fuller and more meat on her bones. It means that she has, like, some kind of status. She can take care of kids better. She can all this other stuff. But
oh my God. I don't even understand this logic, because here's the thing. Most guys can understand attractiveness throughout all races and all nationalities. Period. So I hear what you're saying, that it's going to be different, and to me it's going to be just slightly different. It's just going to be, maybe, again, if you're a person who's just used to Asian culture or like petite girls, etc., blah blah blah, maybe a Nigerian girl would be a little bit less than someone who was used to Nigerian girls. I agree. But when it comes to you just saying a beautiful 10 out of 10 Nigerian girl is going to be a 5 in Asia, I truly don't think so.
I think that also our opinions are kind of skewed just because we do live in America in a way that this is a fat ass melting pot. Yeah. Like, everybody's either has multiple races or literally you walk down the street and you see at least, it's just a melting pot, especially since we're in Atlanta as well. You see so many different people, so many different races and everything. So I think that our opinions, and we all also in the South, which also skews a lot of other people's opinions as well, with deep South minds and everything like that. But I think that since we live in America, we're such a big melting pot, everybody looks different. And I think that men have also noticed that, like, different is good. Different is beautiful. Yeah. Every other woman can look beautiful in her own separate way. Gotcha. But I'm saying that if I was dropped off in Asia and I had nothing but majority Asian men, I don't think that obviously in America, we have majority white, majority whatever. There's always going to be minorities everywhere. But if you were to drop me so dead in fucking Japan, the amount of men that are going to just look past me, they're going to look at me because I look different, but they're going to look past me in a way of, I want that Asian woman who is a little bit skinnier, a little bit whatever. That's their cultural, that's their, like, country's view of beauty. I think that's different. Okay.
So like I said, but I think it's definitely some overlap. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
Very true. And I think that everybody's going to want a symmetrical face. Everybody wants certain things, but that's also just human-wise. We think that symmetrical is beautiful. We think that that is what looks best to us.
Yeah, because of biology.
Our brains
but yeah,
like
I don't want to get I don't want to get too deep into that aspect of it. But yeah, I do agree with some overlap.
Model getting paid to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, etc.
I know a lot of bad bitches that are the baddest of baddest, and they're not worrying about being a model. They're not worrying about being none of that. Most of those girls are not even into the beauty industry.
The reason
they're into something else.
That's true. Here's the thing.
Because at the end of the day, beauty fades. So I'd rather put all of my beauty and all of that into something that's going to make me a longevity around of money, so I don't have to look back on my beauty. Period.
Well, that's most women's agency is their beauty.
God. Question mark.
So,
but my thing is, what can you make your beauty do for you, though?
I mean, you just change the argument.
That's the whole. No, it still goes in the same argument.
It doesn't, because the thing is,
no one can really rate themselves, and nobody can really rate them either.
Can you stop interrupting?
Baltimore, can you let him talk, please?
You gotta chill a little bit.
I'm from Park Heights, so
that's fine. But I mean, that's irrelevant to the conversation where you're from. I mean, respect is respect.
I'm giving you that.
Not really, but anyway, what I'm saying is that when it comes to rating, you can't arbitrarily give yourself a certain rating. Just like I can't call myself a billionaire, a woman can't sit there and call herself a 10. The thing is that you got to look at, there's a market. Who consumes female beauty? Well, in general, it's men. So if you don't have a guy by your side, right, to validate that you're a 10, or you're not getting paid for it by being on the cover of a magazine or whatever it may be, if you were a 10, someone would discover you. That's the reality.
People think because you're...
Yeah.
I knew it. Go ahead.
I was about to say, like, your podcast the other week, you said something about, like, you had 3 girls, and then it was you and Keenan or somebody. Yeah. So y'all were on there, and one of the questions was, what is a high value woman to you?
Yeah.
All the
Great,
women
fresh, phenomenal
answered,
question.
all of the women answered somebody who has confidence, somebody who has this. The men literally answered completely different, which is also a thing of, it literally relates back to this. It's just like, you can't rate yourself because at the end of the day, what I see as a high value woman does not matter in any way. Because at the end of the day, with a high value woman, the only thing that matters in that situation is that how a man sees a high value woman.
Yeah.
And so the way that a man can rate a woman is completely different than a woman's going to rate a woman. Because at the end of the day, we also are taught to uplift women and all this other stuff, and big is beauty and all this other stuff. And
no, that's you speaking straight facts right now. When it comes to the marketplace, we are the consumers, so we are the ones that's rating. So when we ask you that question, it's basically to see how delusional are you. It's basically to see where are you realistic about. Yeah. Are you realistic about you and your other counterparts of females that's around you?
Fairy tale do you live in?
Exactly. Like, are you realistic versus are you delusional and saying you 1,000 out of 10? Okay.
That's why.
On the magazine, this and that.
And then the 10 says you're perfect.
A lot of people used to pay to get in magazines and used to be frauded and shit like that. So it makes you a better of a bitch than me because you're on a magazine and I'm not.
It's an example, but we're not saying,
not really, because if that's your platform, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
We're not saying you can't have confidence. We're just saying, look, at the end of the day, you yourself are confident in your looks. Absolutely. However, people looking at you from the outside are saying, you know what? In my head, she's cool, but she ain't a 10. So we're just saying, look, from your standpoint, you might be a 10, but look at what other people are saying about you. Like, I know you're saying opinions don't matter,
but who gives a fuck? Honestly.
Oh my god.
You should give a fuck.
All right, I'm gonna actually slowly wind down. For you personally, and to wrap things up, what are your final thoughts?
I think that as a woman, you should care what people think. I think as a man, you should also care what people think about you. It goes vice versa. It's not. I think that a lot of times in these situations, and especially on all these kinds of podcasts, I think that women often take these podcasts and think that it's always a man versus women kind of combat. And a lot of times it's just men being able to just say how they genuinely feel. Yeah. And women are not used to that because we've always been told like, oh, well, a man's going to look at you this way and this, that, and the other. And then men actually are like, well, let me tell you how it really is. And women are like,
that's how I made the show.
What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you going to talk to me all disrespectful? It's like, y'all want to call us bum niggas all the time. Yeah. And we can't rebuttal on that. But let us say that you're not a 10 and it's, oh my God.
Facts.
It's like, okay, babe. Like, I just think that at the end of the day, men and women both need to care about what they look like. A man should care when he leaves the house, if he's single at least. Okay. He should care what he looks like when he leaves that house. He shouldn't always be trying to wear sweatpants and always trying to do this and look bummy and not wash your hair, not wash your beard, not shave, not do all this other stuff. Keep up with your hygiene. Just care about how you look. I think that means more because it's also like how much you love yourself.
Okay. The takeaway that I got from this is very simple. Just be more realistic. If you're a dude and a lot of bitches are coming up to you, etc., then that means you have something special. That means you're attractive to a majority of women. That means you're 8, 9, 10, whatever. If you're a girl, no one's coming up to you and you're only getting booty calls and no one's trying to take you out. No one's trying to actually see you in public. And guess what, boo-boo? You were like a 4, 3, whatever. Fuck. So just be more realistic. That's the only takeaway I got from this. But I actually agree with everything you just said.
That's very true, too.
Rarely. All right. But what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is LLL and then YRIQ.
All right, I'm going to put that in the description below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you want to follow her, the link to her Instagram will be in the description below as well. Get Red Pill and Chill on Amazon, and we out. Peace.
Bye.